Well, this is National MedicAlert Awareness Month. A medical identification device comes in many forms, but it's a way for first responders or bystanders to get critical information about a person when they're in the middle of a crisis. Did you know the MedicAlert Foundation actually started 68 years ago in Turlock? This morning, we welcome Karen Cassel. She's the CEO and president of the MedicAlert Foundation. Karen, good morning. Thanks so much for being here.
Good morning, Brandy. Thanks for having me.
Explain for those who don't know why the medical ID bracelet was even first created.
Sure. Well, as you mentioned, it was created 68 years ago right here in Turlock, California by Dr. Marion Collins when his 14-year-old daughter had a near fatal allergic reaction while he and his wife were out of town. And after that incident, which gratefully she survived, he sought a way to protect her when he wasn't, by her side. And so he worked with a San Francisco jeweler to create the very first medical ID bracelet, which would communicate underlying conditions in the event of a medical emergency.
My colleague Mike Sherry and I were just talking. He has worn one. I've even worn one in the past. Part of this really is about prevention, too. I mean, there were some statistics that you guys provided that were really pretty interesting.
That's right. So, we know that 1 in 3 Americans have at least one major underlying chronic disease. And if those Americans find themselves in an emergency room, having fast and accurate treatment is really the difference, or can be the difference between life and death. And every year, 250,000 Americans die in emergency rooms due to misdiagnoses. So the best way to protect yourself is to carry or literally wear that information on your body.
And so for people who are watching this morning who may not have one, what are some ways they can go about getting one? Like, it's not something that has to be a prescription, right? You can really get it anywhere.
It is so simple to get a medical ID. You go on our website, MedicAlert.org. You pick out the style that you like. You tell us a little bit about your chronic condition, and within a week you will have a medical ID. You can also do it over the phone by calling us. We will help you through every step of the process, and you're absolutely right. It's very inexpensive and no prescription is required.
A lot of good information, and that definitely a month for people to have it top of mind. Karen, we appreciate you joining us this morning. A lot of great information for sure.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.